In this demo, we're going to use Azure Application Insights to monitor function executions. So to get started, let's open up the Azure portal in our browser. All right, so what we want to do in this demo is go over how we might use Azure Application Insights, or more commonly known as App Insights, to monitor and understand how our function app is running. To help with that, I've created a function app ahead of time that runs on a simple schedule. Every 5 minutes, it will throw an exception on purpose, but otherwise it doesn't really do anything. So let's start by looking at that function. Now I've already got my function app open, so let's start from here. Okay, so right away on the overview screen, we're being shown execution counts in a chart. This can be really handy because it can tell you if your function is at least firing. But that's not really telling you more than that. So let's click on Functions in the left-hand menu. Good. So now we're being shown all of our functions in the function app. Now, obviously, I've only configured one function. So let's click on it to open it. All right. So now we're being shown another set of graphs. And these graphs show us the same thing as the overview graphs, except that these graphs are about this specific function, whereas the overview graphs aggregated all of the functions that you might have. Now let's click on the Monitor item in the left-hand menu. Awesome. So now we're seeing some execution traces for our function. Every time it ran, an execution log was kept. At the top of the screen, we're being shown a total number of successes and a total number of failures. We're being shown a bunch of successes and a few failures by comparison. So let's click on one of the failures in the list. Good. Now we're being shown the details of the execution that we clicked on, as well as all the log messages that were captured for it. Notice that there's a line item that shows that an exception was encountered. Okay, but having to dig into each of these individual executions is pretty tedious. And if you have thousands of runs, it's just not practical, especially if you only have a few errors out of thousands of runs. So how do we more practically use App Insights to monitor and explore our app? Well, let's find out. Let's close the panel on the right. And now let's use the breadcrumb to go back a level. And now let's click on Application Insights in the left-hand menu. Perfect. So now we're being shown the details of the Application Insights service that we've associated with our function app. Now, it's not mandatory to associate an App Insights instance with a function app, but it's definitely highly recommended that you do. So let's click on the App Insights link to get to the service. All right. So now we're being shown the App Insights service associated with my function app. On the main overview screen, we're being shown a set of graphs at the bottom of the page. These graphs are similar to the ones that we saw earlier, but they're a little bit more generic. And that's okay because we actually want different information once we're in the App Insights service anyway. Now, notice